Hello, my dear friends and fellow developers. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to continue our journey in which we are discussing different topics related to our LWC framework. In our last session, we have seen like how we can achieve field reactivity. We have also seen like how LWC engine works under the hood to make a field reactive, and we have also seen how LWC engine works in a shallow fashion manner to make the field reactive. So in our last session, we have very important topic like whenever we are working with objects and let's suppose arrays, which is the complex data structure, the field activity achieving is kind of a tricky part because there we have to make use of iterate track. So today we are going to continue the same topic and see how we can make use of track to track the changes inside object and array. So, as discussed, the first point says that whenever we want to track any properties of an object or elements of an array, then it has to be decorated with iterate track. The second point says that whenever, let's suppose, we have decorated any field or any properties of an object or an array with iterate track. So, what it will do, Lightning Web Component tracks the changes of an internal values. So, the data structure can be a plain object created with curly braces or array created with square braces. So it will check for the internal values for the mutations, and if there is any mutation, the component will be re-rendered if that's how it was designed. So by the help of iterate track, we can check for the internal changes of an object and array. The third point is the important point because it says how it actually works. So basically, what LWC framework does is like it observes the mutation made on a plain object or an array in a recursive fashion. So what it means is like let's suppose we have a complex data structure in which like we have objects of objects or array of array. So what it will do, it will check for the mutation in recursive manner. So recursive manner in the sense, let's suppose if we have objects inside the which we have another object. So what it will do, it will check for the first level of mutation, then it will go inside and check for the second level of mutation. So basically, it also already handles the cyclic reference in our recursive framework. So this is how the edit track will work under the hood. Basically, it will works in a recursive fashion to track the mutations of an object or an array, but there is one limitation to edit track. So whenever we have a concept of inheritance in the sense whenever we have any object which is inheriting from any other object, class, instance, date, map, or set, so in that case our edit track will not be able to observe the mutations. So this is one of the limitation and key point which we should make sure, like whenever we have inheriting concepts in our data structure, our edit track will not work. The last point is basically a special property. So what it does is like whenever we are assigning a set of property to a value and we want to track it with the help of edit track, will get a warning because we cannot track the property of a value if it is assigned to any value. So in our debug log in our browser, we can see a warning message like this, like property x of object vm tracked it. So like this, you can see the error message whenever we want to track a set of property which is assigned to a value. So now let's move further and see one example like how edit track works in our real-time scenario. So here we have two input components, namely first name and last name, and then one output component, or you can say one binding we have over here, which is uppercase full name. So in our JavaScript file, what we have full name, which is decorated with edit track, and this full name contains one plain object, namely first name and last name, with the value of blank spaces. So now what it will do in runtime when the page will render. So whenever user changes the value of first name and last name, it will come to handle change and it will assign the value. Since we have edit track over here and edit track works, or you can say checks for the internal mutations. So it will track the changes and it will update the uppercase full name getter and then it will update the value. But let's suppose if we do not have edit track over here or we have edit API over here. So what it will do, if at all user changes first name and last name, then also this value will not change because it will take the initial value and it will not track the internal mutation. So this is one of the code snippet by the help of which we can identify how the edit track works. So let's see in real time how it will show. So this one will be shown when the component will be rendered in the runtime, which is empty spaces. And this one here, what we are trying to do, so we have removed this iterate track with iterate API, and then what we did, we changed the value with AAA. So now if we click outside the container, so what it will do, we can see there is no changes. Why? Because iterate API cannot track the changes of a complex data structure. But when we have added track and we given the value as Pramod Jana, so it will update the value and check the value in our getter function, and then it will display Pramod Jana over here, or as Pramod then Pramod over here. So this is one of the difference, like how added track will work in our real life scenario. So yeah, that's pretty much about the track, and hopefully I was able to explain you about the reactivity, field reactivity, and how you can track the objects and array in our LWC framework. If you find my content fruitful, please like my content. It will really motivate me to make more videos like this. Thank you very much.